Hey everybody, I'm Dave Carger for IMDb here at the 2018 Toronto International Film Festival. And now I'm very happy to have with me writer-director Jonah Hill and the cast of his movie Mid90s. What's going on, guys? I know, you're already two-time Oscar nominee Jonah Hill. Now you're writer-director Jonah Hill.
It's very exciting.
Why this story and why this mid-90s time period for your first time?
Well, I always wanted to be a writer-director my whole life, and as an actor, I got to go to the best film school in the world. You know, I got to work with almost all of my favorite filmmakers, from Martin Scorsese to Bennett Miller to, you know, Greg Mottola and Seth and Evan, and, you know, all over I've done so many different kinds of movies. I got so many different versions of education. And for me, what I noticed the most was when people made films really, truly from their heart, they looked back years later and they were so still proud. And for me, I spent 4 years because I wanted to tell a story that really deeply meant something to me. And, you know, it's a story about finding a group of friends outside of your house and a family outside of your house, and when it's you and your friends versus the world. And you know, for 4 years, this was this thing that when I was angry or sad, I could go in my room and just work on it. And then you invite people into this really personal thing, and you win the lottery, and you get guys like this to bring these characters to life. Introduce yourself, guys. All right, this is Sunny Suljic.
Na-kel.
Hey, what's up? My name's Olan, Prenatt.
Love it.
And these guys are incredible.
So the movie's called Mid90s, which means it takes place in 1990 what?
The idea is a misdirect. So the title, basically, it's you think it's going to be like, oh, that 90s movie,
Right.
you know, and it's really just this really deeply human story about life. And the two rules were no skate porn and no nostalgia porn, meaning
Okay.
like, you know, don't be corny with the nostalgia, don't be corny with skating, and really protect this beautiful subculture that's always been misdirected on screen. And so the name is sort of like a misdirect where you're like, oh, I'm going to see this, and it's this really like powerful human story about these kids, you know, being torn apart from one another.
So no like Limp Bizkit and
No.
stuff? Okay.
Come on, man. That's strike one.
Okay, so raise your hand if you're sitting on the stage and you were not born in the 90s. Sonny, how did you...
Okay, no, at heart I am.
Honestly,
Honestly, at heart I am.
What makes you a 90s kid?
I don't know. I mean,
I'd love to hear this one.
all right,
What year were you born?
2005. But okay, in skating there is no age. That's an honest response. There's no age in skating. Like, I would be hanging out with like people that are 13 when I'm 8, and now I'm 13. I'm hanging out with people that are like 18. So it's just I grew up being like 4 years like above me. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
Yeah, you were always around people that were older.
yeah, they
And
influenced me.
When I met Sunny, right away he was the first person we read, but I met him at a skate park. Our friend Mikey Alfred took me and Lucas Hedges to the Stoner skate park where Sunny skates, and I saw him and I was like, that's the dude, it's got to be the guy. And the quality I was looking for was someone who was really small and looked really young, but was like 10 feet tall inside. And Sunny really embodied that even with a short conversation. I knew. And he was the first person we read, and we cast him that day. And, you know, so on and so forth.
Na-kel, was your audition for Jonah more of a skating audition or an acting audition? Or both?
By the way, I'm just going to show you again that strike two. Because
I know
this
he's
is
an
one of the
awesome
best
skater.
professional
Believe me, I know.
skateboarders in the world.
Believe me, I know.
He auditioned me.
It was definitely more of an acting audition. Yeah, I guess my skating speaks for itself. I do what I do, like. But yeah, it was a very different experience. Going in and kind of just putting it all out there for just like this room, and yeah, I've never done anything like that kind of. So it was very good. Like it went well.
I think
it-
so.
like-
And
I mean, wait. Just wait till you see these guys in the movie, you know? And Na-kel came in. Oh, it was a funny story. So Na-kel came in, and he has a lot of like really heavy emotional scenes in the movie, and everyone was crying. Like there was no choice to be made. Like he was different than the character, and what his strengths were different. So I rewrote the character because this is the anchor. You know, these kids are the anchor of the film. And then Olan comes in, and he's so explosive and entertaining, I forgot to audition him. So I called, he just told me a couple stories, and I was like, oh, amazing, this is the guy. And then I sent it to Scott Rudin in A24, and they were like, you didn't audition him. And I was like, oh, right. I just knew, but I forgot that I have to show them the scenes. And then he came back in, and he killed it. And it was like, you know, I don't know, it's just, to me, the most moving experience in my life is like watching these guys become serious, dedicated actors over the course of a summer. And like, they worked so hard, and it was so moving.
Olan, did you know in your heart that you had this in you? Where did the confidence come from?
The confidence just came from me being a funny person and just often just just talking to people. And I didn't know what to expect when about the acting aspect of it, but I just tried to be just as comfortable as possible to allow myself to get to that point where I could say written words out loud, you know?
Love it.
Yeah.
Killed it.
For the three actors, favorite all-time Jonah Hill movie? Sunny.
War Dogs.
Superbad.
I love War Dogs. He was like,
Superbad, Na-kel.
Yes.
Superbad.
Superbad is my favorite one. I went to the movies to see it with my mom, and then instantly within the first, like, not even 5 minutes, we had to walk out because I was younger, and she was like, yeah. I rewatched it.
yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, probably the best.
I love it. Jonah, let me
Guys,
ask,
no, keep going, sorry.
let me ask you one question, Jonah, for our IMDb Pro users. When you think about your
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. When you think about your career, do you think of it like you had a big break, or do you feel like it was a series of little breaks that kind of led to where you are?
I mean, I definitely had a big break. You know, I definitely had a big break. Superbad was definitely my big break, and what it did. But I feel I've had many breaks because I keep going in different directions. You know, and so I've had a few huge breaks. Superbad being the first one, and it really planted the seed in me. I'm just all in education, you know, and it planted the seed in me that Seth and Evan and Greg Mottola and Judd Apatow, they were making this film that was their ethic, Seth and Evan's ethic and point of view and the way they saw the world, and it was so inspiring that I was like, whoa, one day when I do that, it's not their voice, I get to do my own voice. And then Bennett Miller cast me in Moneyball, and that was my other big break because I got to watch Bennett make a film and how his mind works and how he plays chess and with filmmaking. And then I got another big break with Martin Scorsese, and then I got to watch him work for 7 months. And for me, it's been all these incredible, it's like I keep getting accepted to a different graduate program. And finally, when I felt ready, when I felt there was nothing more I can put emotionally onto the page, I was ready to go find these guys.
I love it. Okay, last thing. Since we're in Canada, Jonah, pick a question out of our IMDb Mountie hat.
Let's get the guys pick.
All right, pick one, and everyone's going to answer it. No, you also answer the same question.
Oh, we all, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I don't
Go
know
for
how
it.
works.
Sonny, read it out loud, please.
Who's your
Canada.
favorite Canadian, Ryan Reynolds or Gosling? Why?
Favorite Canadian Ryan?
You know, that's like rude. I don't know. I know Ryan Gosling a little bit. I don't know Ryan Reynolds. I think they're both really charming. They're both really talented. So I can't say which one I like better, but I really love, I love the one where Ryan Gosling's the teacher.
Half Nelson?
Half Nelson. Oh my gosh, he's so brilliant in that movie. And that's my favorite performance of
Okay.
his.
Guys? Reynolds or Gosling?
They're like, I don't even fucking know who's people.
I'm gonna be so honest. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Then
Oh,
Deadpool.
yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is the man.
All right. Thanks,
He
guys.
actually is tight too. Like outside of just Deadpool.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. Guys, have a
old.
great time. Jonah Hill, cast of Mid90s, everybody. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Have a great time.